A successful engineer, or a student with the best grades in the class, or a successful manager. Are you any of these? Best in the world, best in what you do, but still make a lot of grammatical slips during presentations or conference meetings, etc., or grammatical slips that perhaps even you're not aware of yet. If this is the case with you, then ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this fantastic lesson. My name is Radhan. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about 20 super common grammar mistakes in English that you may not be aware of that you commit even today. So let's get started. This is part 2. We've already completed part 1. In case you want to watch it, the link is right here. Let's get started. Slip number 1 is you and me are good friends. Guys, if you see in the sentence, me is a pronoun, especially in this part of the sentence, is not used in the middle of the sentence. Rather, in place of me, we say, you and I are good friends. So remember, from the next time on, you first say the person, my friends and I, my father and I, my family and I, team and I, managers and I. In any case, you say the name of the person first, whosoever is involved, and then you use I, and we do not use me, which is the object pronoun here. Yep. Let's move to the next one. She didn't see you and I. But what is the problem with this one? It looks exactly like the correct option here. She didn't see you and I. Now, when it comes to using you and I in the end of the sentence, then me changes to she didn't see you and me. So remember, when you're actually using the sentence in the beginning, you say you and I, you use this form of pronoun here. But when it comes to talking about it in the end of the sentence, I changes to me. So it's a very important transition that if we keep in mind, we'll be able to avoid the most common grammar slip of today's time. Here we go. I don't have enough informations. If you see in this sentence, information is coming along with an S. You cannot count information 1, information 2, information. You can count the pieces of information, but not information. So the correct sentence is, I don't have enough information. Information never goes with an S with it. There's no plural of information. So this was the first slide. Let's quickly move to the next mistake. That's an interesting information. Again, as we discussed in the previous slide, you cannot count information. But if you use an with it, that means you're in a way counting it. That means there was one information. So we remove an from here and we say, that's interesting information without an article. Or you can say, that's an interesting piece of information. So if you want to actually add an here, you'd have to specify that you're talking about just one piece of it. So you say, an interesting piece of information. The next is, majority of people doesn't want to lock down. So if you see here, majority of people is plural and doesn't because it has S in it. Well, it is just a baby-like explanation, not that it exists. But wherever there is S, that means it's used for singularity. But majority of people is not singular, it's plural. So we say a majority of, or we say most people don't want a lockdown, and not to lockdown, it is don't want a lockdown. So that's very important. With plurals, you use don't, and with singulars, you use doesn't. But most of the people is not singular, it is plural. The next slip is, there was just a couple of people at the party. I have a lot of Asian American friends who speak English like this. The correct format is, there were just a couple of people at the party. If you see here again, we are talking about people, which is plural. And plural takes the were form. And we do not say was. So that would be wrong here. So make sure whenever you're talking about people towards the latter part of the sentence, you say there were a lot of people, not there was a lot of people. Next, a couple in love are always a nice thing to see. A couple in love is always a nice thing to see. Couple is counted as single, yeah? Couples are counted as multiple pairs. But when you say couple, it is counted as a singular word. And therefore, with singular, we always use is and not are. A couple in love are changes to a couple in love is. The next slip is there's a lot of people at the party. Again, if you see here, we're talking about people, and this contraction here stands for there is. So, what is the right answer? You know it already because we discussed it. There are a lot of people at the party. Yeah? So, this was all about the mistakes on this page. Let's quickly move to the next one. People generally doesn't know about English. People is plural and doesn't is here singular auxiliary verb. So it changes to people generally don't know about English. Yeah? Was a case of singular and plural. We've been discussing about don't and doesn't for a little while every now and then. There is a lot of students in the lecture hall. There is students here is plural. So therefore, it has got to be plural as well. So we say there are a lot of people, there are a lot of students in the lecture hall. Moving on to the next one, we didn't see each other's face. Now, such a problem sort of arises in written English. This apostrophe that you see here goes before the S. So it changes to we didn't see each other's face because we are talking about when you actually say others, it means plural form, but others is a word that doesn't have the plural form. So we say the possessive pronoun by putting the apostrophe before S. So we say each other's face. Moving on to the next one. His advices were very helpful. Now, if you look at the sentence, advice has just single form to it, just like information. We can say pieces of advice, but we don't say advices. So the correct sentence is his advice was very helpful, or his pieces of advice were very helpful. If you want to use the plural form of advice, always choose to use pieces of advice. Gotcha? The next one is this was a good advice. What is wrong with this? It looks good. This was a good advice. Again, you cannot count advices. You say this was good advice without an A. Or you say this was a good piece of advice. The next problem is, I don't know, why does he go there? Why does he go there is taking the form of a quasi-question. Why does he go there? But in fact, this particular statement is a simple sentence. So we don't have to write it like a question. So we say, I don't know why he goes there. Without, in fact, treating it like a question, we say, I don't know why he goes there. Remember, if there was no I don't know in this sentence, that's when you can say, why does he go there? And it would be correct. But since there is, in fact, I don't know, we say it in a sentence format, why he goes there. The next slip is, I will give it to him after he arrives. If you see, there are two parts in the sentence. I will give it to him, comma, after he will arrive. There's a condition and there's a result. The condition is after he will arrive, and the result is I will give it to him. Please remember, in such types of sentences, we only use will with the result. We never use will with the condition. So we say, I will give it to him, which is the result. I will give it to him, comma, after he arrives. So we only use will in the first part, which is with the result of the situation. This is called a first conditional sentence, and it's very commonly misused across the continent. I will call you when I will come home. I've used the sentence intentionally just for us to practice better. I will call you when I will come home. Which is a condition, which is a result. Pause the video. I will call you is the result. When I will come home is the condition. We only use will at one place, and that is with the result. So what is the right sentence? I will call you when I come home. So we have to eliminate this will. Gotcha? The next slip is Rahul said that he likes chocolates. Imagine Rahul said it yesterday. I like chocolate. Now, like should become past now because he said it yesterday. Therefore, it is a problem of reported speech. The right sentence is Rahul said that he liked chocolates is correct. Whenever you report a piece of information, the present changes to past. This is very, very important for us all to understand. This was all about very common mistakes that people make when they use grammar in their daily lives. If you like this video, hit a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you do not miss more such interesting videos to come. Take care, and I'll see you soon.